Venezuela has the largest proven oil reserves in the world, enough to make it incredibly wealthy. For decades, the country should have been one of the richest nations on earth. Oil money was flowing in massive amounts, yet the wealth was not sustainable. The country seemed to have everything it needed to thrive economically. Yet today, Venezuela is remembered mainly for economic collapse and hardship. Hyperinflation has destroyed the daily lives of millions of people. Basic goods like food and medicine became almost impossible to find. Millions of Venezuelans were forced to leave their homes to survive. So what exactly went wrong in this once rich nation? Was it corruption alone? Or was there something deeper at play? Was it simply falling oil prices that triggered the crisis? Or was there one critical financial mistake that set the collapse in motion? To understand this, we need to go back in time and examine the policies. In the early 2000s, Venezuela was enjoying an economic boom fueled by oil. High oil prices created enormous revenue for the government. The nation appeared to be on a path toward prosperity and stability. Living standards for many Venezuelans initially improved. The government promised economic equality and protection for citizens. It seemed the solution was straightforward and easy to implement. The plan was to control prices, currency, and production across the economy. At first, these policies seemed to be working as intended. Food remained affordable for ordinary people. Fuel prices were almost non-existent for consumers. Subsidies were expanded to cover more basic needs. People felt protected and supported by the government. But beneath the surface, serious economic damage was quietly occurring. The first major mistake was the implementation of strict price controls. The government forced companies to sell essential goods at very low prices. Profits for businesses disappeared almost overnight. Production began to slow down as companies struggled to stay afloat. Farmers stopped producing as much food because it was no longer profitable. Factories began reducing output and laying off workers. Imports of goods declined because businesses couldn't afford to buy supplies. Store shelves started to empty, and shortages became common. Long lines and scarcity replaced abundance and easy access to goods. The second mistake involved strict currency controls. The government fixed the value of the Venezuelan currency, the bolivar, at an artificial rate. Access to US dollars was tightly controlled and limited to insiders. Only certain people could buy foreign currency at the official rate. This quickly created a massive black market for dollars. Corruption exploded as people exploited the system for profit. Confidence in the official currency collapsed almost immediately. Businesses struggled to plan for the future or make investments. The official exchange rate no longer reflected reality or economic value. Then came the most destructive policy decision of all. The government began printing money at an unsustainable rate. Large amounts of money were created seemingly out of thin air. Printing money felt like an easy solution to cover budget shortfalls. Salaries could still be paid to workers, at least temporarily. Subsidies continued, and social programs were funded, but no actual production or wealth was being created to support it. More money was chasing fewer goods, which is a recipe for disaster. Inflation began to rise slowly at first. Then the pace accelerated dramatically. Soon, prices were doubling in weeks, sometimes even days. Venezuela entered a period of hyperinflation. Money lost its value so quickly that people could not keep up. Savings became essentially worthless, almost overnight. Salaries no longer matched the cost of basic goods. People carried large bags of cash just to buy a single meal. The currency effectively became useless for everyday transactions. Dependence on oil made the situation even worse. The Venezuelan economy relied almost entirely on oil exports for revenue. There was very little diversification in other industries or sectors. The country had not created serious financial reserves or savings. When global oil prices dropped, government revenue collapsed immediately. The government had no backup plan for economic sustainability. Printing even more money only worsened the crisis. Inflation spiraled further out of control, causing panic in markets. Businesses were forced to close permanently. Imports of essential goods came to a complete halt. Hospitals ran out of medicine, and basic health care suffered. Power outages became frequent and affected daily life. Daily existence became a struggle for survival for ordinary citizens. Millions of people fled the country in search of safety and stability. The tragedy of Venezuela was not a lack of resources or oil. The real tragedy was a series of poor financial policy choices. Price controls destroyed incentives for production. Currency controls eliminated trust in the economy. Printing excessive money destroyed the value of the collapse was not inevitable. It was the result of choices made. Wealth alone could not save the country from policy mistakes. Good intentions were not enough to maintain economic stability. Sound policy and careful management were critically needed. Once people lost trust in money, rebuilding the economy became extremely difficult. Venezuela's story serves as a stark warning for other nations. It demonstrates the consequences of ignoring basic economic principles. Financial mismanagement can undo decades of wealth in just a few years. Even abundant natural resources cannot prevent collapse without proper policy. The human cost of these decisions has been immense. Families lost savings, homes, and livelihoods. Basic necessities became luxuries almost overnight. Millions faced hunger, disease, and displacement. The economy shrank dramatically and unemployment soared. Venezuela's situation became a cautionary tale for the world. The collapse teaches an important lesson about economic responsibility. Policy choices can either protect a nation or destroy it. What do you think? Could Venezuela have dodged this collapse? Or was it bound to happen? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and share.